Imagine waking up to the news that Trump wants the US to take back the Panama Canal. Wait. Didn't we give that up decades ago? So, why would Trump make such a bold claim? And that's just the beginning. From slapping tariffs on Canada and Europe to claiming he could end the Russia-Ukraine war in 24 hours, Trump made some of the most dramatic foreign policy moves in recent history. Some say he was a genius strategist, others think he was playing with fire. So today, we're breaking it all down, what Trump was really trying to do, what the media didn't tell you, and most importantly, did his actions actually work? Welcome to Media Strive, where we break down world events in a way that actually makes sense. Grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's get into it. Trump versus China, the Panama Canal power struggle. Let's start with something that flew under the radar but is a huge deal in global politics, the Panama Canal. In 2024, Trump said the US should take back control of the canal. But hold on. Didn't we hand that over to Panama in 1999? What's going on here? The Panama Canal is one of the most critical trade routes in the world. Over the years, Chinese companies have been securing control over ports at both ends of the canal, which caught Trump's attention. He saw it as a national security threat. If China controlled key ports, they could influence global trade and put the US at a disadvantage. So, how did the US respond? Instead of military action, US investors, led by BlackRock, bought out China's stake in these ports for a staggering $23 billion. That shut China out, but it didn't come without consequences. Panama was furious. Their president firmly rejected Trump's demand to return the canal, saying, "The canal belongs to Panama, not the US," and just like that, tensions spiked. What's the real takeaway? China was making moves, and the US countered, but through money, not military force. Trump's tough stance might have strained US-Panama relations. This is part of a bigger US-China economic war, and it's far from over. Tariff wars, smart strategy or economic gamble? Now, let's talk about something that hit people where it hurts: prices. In 2024, Trump doubled down on tariffs, not just on China, but also on Canada and Europe, longtime US allies. His reasoning? He wanted to bring money back into the US economy and reduce national debt without raising taxes. On paper, it sounds like a smart move. But here's the problem. While tariffs brought in revenue, they also made everyday goods more expensive: groceries, electronics, cars. You name it, the price went up. And guess what? Canada and Europe didn't just sit back. They hit back with their own tariffs, turning it into a trade war. And here's something most people don't realize: while Trump was pushing these tariffs, Europe started moving closer to China for trade deals. So, did America actually come out ahead? What's the big takeaway? Short term, the US made money. Long term, it risked isolating America from key allies. Could this push Europe and China into a closer trade partnership, leaving the US out? The Hamas talks and Gaza crisis, a game changer. Now, this one might surprise you: Trump did something no other recent US president had done. He opened direct negotiations with Hamas. The goal? Secure the release of hostages and push for a ceasefire. It could have been a game changer. But then, things got complicated. At the same time Trump was talking to Hamas, Israel launched a major military operation and called for mass evacuations of Palestinians from Gaza. This led to international backlash, and the US suddenly found itself caught between both sides, first negotiating for peace, then backing Israel's actions. Meanwhile, Egypt stepped in with a $53 billion reconstruction plan for Gaza. But they made one thing clear: Palestinians stay. No forced displacement. That put Trump's administration in a difficult spot. What's the bigger picture? Negotiating with Hamas was a major shift. Was it smart diplomacy or a mistake? Arab nations took control of the situation, reducing US influence in the region. Could this change the balance of power in the Middle East for good? Trump's plan to end the Russia-Ukraine war, would it work? Now, let's break down Trump's biggest claim. He said he could end the Russia-Ukraine war in just 24 hours. Sounds unbelievable, right? But what was his actual strategy? Trump's plan was to negotiate directly with Putin and use economic pressure, sanctions and tariffs, to push for peace. But there was one big issue: Europe wasn't convinced. They feared Trump would cut a deal that put American interests first but left Ukraine vulnerable. Then, things took another turn. Reports suggested that the US might demand access to Ukraine's mineral resources as part of a peace deal. That raised serious questions. Was this about diplomacy, or was America looking for an economic win? What's the verdict? If Trump actually brokered peace, it could redefine US-Russia relations. If the deal favored Russia too much, Ukraine could be at serious risk. Could this weaken US-Europe relations for decades? So, was Trump a genius or a risk-taker? Now, here's the real question: were Trump's foreign policies bold and strategic, or just a series of high-stakes gambles? Some moves, like blocking China in Panama, were smart. Others, like the tariff wars, might have done more harm than good. His Middle East strategy shook things up, but the long-term effects remain to be seen. And his Russia-Ukraine stance? That's still a wild card. But one thing is certain: Trump changed the way the US operates on the global stage. Whether that's for better or worse, well, that's up for debate. Now, I want to hear from you. Was Trump a strategic mastermind, or did he take things too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Media Strive for more deep dives into global events. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.